Hello and welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us today. I am Suzanne Lynn with Stacey McKay from Stacey McKay and Company. Stacey, welcome. I'm glad that you're here today.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Always a pleasure to get to see you and be with you.
Well, you have so much to share about, and Stacey comes with a whole very, very diverse group of what you're able to do. But today we're going to be specially talking about relational wisdom. And I think that we're all used to the terminology emotional intelligence, but we're talking about this course that you're offering for free up till May the 1st called Relational Wisdom. Would you talk about that kind of the foundational stuff?
Yeah, I sure will. So what's awesome is this is not my course. This is actually a course that's put out by RW360, and it is on the Teachable platform. So great online course with lots of video, lots of integration, great teaching by Ken Sandy, who's the founder of RW360. And it's just a basis for your operating system for life, really, is what it is.
I love that.
Yes. It's taking
Absolutely.
those emotional intelligence skills that we've all heard about, those soft skills. That's very, very important if you want to do well in life, is to have those soft skills. But it is actually how you take the emotional intelligence, the God-given emotional intelligence, and then connect that to our relationships. And at home, at
Mhm.
work, at church, and organizations that we're in, any way that we can win or we touch other people in their lives, we can use these skills that you're able to learn.
I want to jump in and let you know, if you're watching, first of all, thank you so much. And stay with us because we're going to be talking a lot about this relational wisdom and emotional intelligence and how it really does apply to you and what you're doing every day, even if you're not leaving the house, how it applies to your family. So if you've got questions, please jump on in, leave a comment. We'll try to get to that. I'm going to try to control all the knobs and controls and everything. So bear with me here. There might be some
That's great.
technical glitches, but we'll get through it. But Stacey, what really prompted us to do this show today is the fact that many people are home, and it's so sad to hear that domestic violence is up. There's a lot of arguing. And while I love to focus on the positive of hearing that 92% of the children are saying they're enjoying more family time, the fact is there's a little bit of room for improvement. Where would you say that relational wisdom would play in when it comes to married couples being home in an environment and situation we've never encountered before?
Yes, yes. Well, sometimes just being cognizant of how we're treating other people, how they're treating us, sort of that golden rule: treat others the way that you want to be treated. The unfortunate part is we are all experiencing a situation and something that never any of us have never experienced before. I mean, a worldwide pandemic that has shut down industries, has made people go back home, shut down schools. So we are operating under a lot of different dynamics than most of us are used to. Now start to add on to that the economic impact, fears about finances. I mean, I own two different businesses, and then I've worked for a great property management company for 12 years. And so I'm juggling these different businesses, even myself, and trying to stay on top of things. So it can add stress. And when we're under stress, then we can add that stress to others. So
Yes.
that all being said, having some of these skills, or sometimes we know the skills and we forget them, because when we get under pressure, when we get under fire, then it is a lot harder to remember, like, oh, I shouldn't be treating this person this way.
Right,
At that
right.
point, we're stressed. And so I think that's why RW360, not I think, I know RW360 and their board made the decision to make the course available for anyone in the world that wanted to take it, is because they understood the need more than ever for this material and these skills to be brought back to the forefront, to the neocortex, the rational thinking part of the mind, so that when we begin to get in those pressure situations, we have something we can sort of go back and draw from and cling to. We've had I think they sent out a notice that they have over 1,000 people so far take
Wow.
up the offer to take the course.
That's
And so
fantastic.
we're extremely excited that many new people will be getting this. because it does transform relationships. And
It
so
does.
that's the goal and the mission.
I am a walking testimony of that. And so I jumped in. I'm doing the values based and the faith
Yes.
based, you
Right.
know, couple each night.
Yes.
And because I want
Yes.
both experiences. And it is not basic stuff. If you think that you're jumping into relational wisdom and it's just the basic, hey, be kind to others, it's so much more than that. It's about being other aware, you know, and I see it helping me with my family relationships. The thing I wasn't expecting is how it's helping me in my business relationships and communicating with people in the way they want to be communicated with, not how I'm comfortable. Can you talk about that aspect? Because, oh my gosh, I'm looking at this
Yes.
33 years in the real estate business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've 33 years in the real estate business, 20 going on 28 years as a broker, own several real estate companies, own a residential real estate company now. And as I said, work for a management company and have for 12 years handling their business development, which business development is all day long. You are dealing with people.
Right.
And so when I first took my relational wisdom course back in 2015, the first time that Ken Sandy came to town and I had a chance to take it, I was so impressed at the skills that were being taught and how it was going to help me to better communicate in business.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I own and operate a property management school, a licensed real estate school here in Florida. And I got a fire in my belly that this needs to be taught to the property managers because we deal with such diverse personalities.
Yeah.
And I knew this all along, but I'll tell you, the last couple months, I'm seeing more and more that these skills are so needed at just dealing with hundreds and hundreds of tenants and owners, and the fact that some people can't pay their rent and how that impacts things. So having those skills in any kind of business setting, and we're not just talking just the employees. This is everybody from the top down. I believe every CEO of every corporation needs to know and understand these skills. A lot of times the CEOs have these great hard skills. They're extremely intelligent people, but they might be lacking in the soft skill area. So it's extremely important that we have from the CEO all the way down to their mid-level managers to the staff and employees, that they have this, because when they have these skills, then they're able to find new and inventive ways to deal effectively with their clients and their customers.
I want to remind you, please feel free to leave a comment. We're going to pop it up on the screen, have Stacey answer for you, whether it's relational wisdom or real estate oriented or whatever. But Stacey, you talk about soft skills and hard skills, and that's kind of new terminology for me. Can you explain the difference?
Sure. So the hard skills, let's just put it in sort of layman's terms. It's your resume. It's what your job skills are, where you went to school, what your education is. It's, again, what we would call the hard skills. So you look at a resume and you go, okay, so they went to Princeton, or they have various certifications that they've received. They have awards.
How many words a minute you can type?
Exactly. I love it. Yes, it's so true. So you have this resume that does not tell you really about the person, about the soft skills that person has. Soft skills are those relational skills. It's being a good listener. It's being able to carry on a conversation with someone. It is being able to do what we call reflective listening, and that's where you're literally listening, and so that you can turn around and tell the other person, so let me hear you right. Is this what you said? And you basically repeat what you believe you heard them say. And it allows that reflective listening. And sometimes a person goes, well, that's not exactly what I meant or what I said. Right. So having that ability to talk and communicate with another human being is a soft skill. So there are people that are very intelligent and they have college educations and they have that resume or the hard skills, but they do not have that heart level ability to really understand and sit and reflectively listen to somebody. We've all known it when you're talking to somebody and you realize all they're thinking about is what they're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in their eyes, you see it in their body language, that they just want you to be quiet because now they want to say what they want to say,
Right.
as opposed to really listening for understanding. So it's those kind of skills that as we learn and grow in our soft skills, which ultimately is emotional intelligence, your emotional intelligence or your EI does go up. Where your intellect is normally, it is what it is. If you've got, if your IQ is 135, you're not really going to deviate from that. Where in emotional intelligence, every day I could get up and I could read articles, I could read books that, or watch one of the lessons on RW 360 that takes me up just another notch. That I go, you know what? Today I'm going to really work on this particular skill.
So IQ kind of maxes out. I think I'd heard you say, late teens or something, but relational intelligence and emotional intelligence can go into,
it can go till
50s,
the grave. Until
the grave.
Literally you can. And I am blessed to have you as part of my two of my Zoom groups that I have going on right now, where we are just debriefing once a week on the lesson for that week. And if you remember the last time we ended, and I gave you a little task and gave some homework, so to speak, but it was all relational homework. It's like, go out and practice your soft skills.
Right.
And come back and just bring a story. So, because that accountability helps us when we go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do this, and now I'm going to go do it. And I've got to bring that information back, and I'm going to report. So I will say one thing.
Yeah.
You can take this course without having to be part of any group. And that's the beauty. If you want to take it for free, you need to get signed up before May 1st. Okay. You will have till the end of May if you are in the medical profession, because they see this is extremely valuable information that those that are caring for others need to have these skills. Given more time, knowing that many people right now may not have the time to take the course, but as long as you're signed up, you can take as long as you want to take it. If you're part of one of the Zoom groups, then you're going to go through the course in about 8 weeks and have some interaction, but that's not required. It is available, and I'm offering that for free as part of my services. If you want to be part of one of my nightly Zoom groups, you could do that. But you could also just go sign up for the course and take it for free at your own leisure.
Well, like I said, I'm just, getting into this, and it's just made a tremendous shift in my thinking. What about the person who's sitting there watching right now going, look, I'm not a boss. I don't hire people. I don't have control over that many people. How is this going to help me at work?
Well, unless you're just sitting in a basement vault of a bank counting money, and you're not really having to deal with anybody, at some point you are going to deal with somebody. Even if you're not a boss over anyone, you are going to have interactions in most cases and in most jobs, and it may only be 1 or 2 people. And if anything, when you are in a work setting that's a much smaller setting, the relationships can come under fire a lot more.
That's a good point.
Because you only have a couple people here, and if you get in disagreement and you're in conflict with one another, then that can be more challenging than if you work in a big office with 500 people and you can go hide on the other side of the building and you don't have to deal with the person, which that's in peacemaking, that's called escape. So you don't want to escape. I'm also trained in conflict coaching. And so if you get in conflict through this that you can't get yourself out of because you don't yet have the relational wisdom skills in place, I can help you with that too. I can help with some conflict coaching to help you. But we never want to just hide on the other side of the building because we just want to avoid this person because they agitate us. We want to be able to have the skills to reason out when is the right timing, when do I need to talk to this person, what do I need to say, how do I need to communicate it with them? Is it phone? Is it a handwritten note? Is it face to face? Is it email? Face to face is always the best. Yeah. Any time that you need to deal with somebody, you want to deal face to face if you have that opportunity. We all know email, or as I call it, evil mail. Well, we've all gotten that email. We've gotten an email. I trust you that you opened it up and you got slapped across the face. You weren't expecting it. And maybe you took it as a slap and the other person wasn't intending it in that way at all.
Right.
but because there's no emotion to email,
Mhm.
other than all caps and underlined and bold and, exclamation. And when you get one of those, you go, oh, wow, they're yelling at me.
Yeah.
So we, through relational wisdom, it is integrated with the peacemaking skills, because Ken Sande wrote The Peacemaker, who
Mm.
actually then went on to write Relational Wisdom. He did peacemaking and ran Peacemakers Ministry for 30 years. And then in 2012 went from there and began to write the Relational Wisdom curriculum to help people get out in front of conflict, so that they don't get in. If they really apply these skills and they learn these skills, they won't get in the conflict to start. But it has all kinds of peacemaking principles integrated throughout both curriculums. There are two curriculums, just as Suzanne had mentioned. There is a faith-based curriculum, and there is what we call values-based, or it's a secular curriculum that isn't going to have faith in it whatsoever. And she can attest to that as she's going through these. So you do have the option to pick either route. But both of them are going to give you skills to manage conflict.
And they're both absolutely amazing. And the reason I'm in both, and I want to encourage you, if you're watching this and you're thinking about jumping into one of the courses, there are people that I wanted to do the course with that were more comfortable being in the different class. I have some friends that wanted to be in the faith-based class, and I wanted to join them and get that angle. But I also have some conflict with a family member, and she and I agreed to do this course together in the values-based. And I can see a difference happening already. So I want to challenge you. This is hard, and I'm speaking from experience. If there's someone that you're having a rift with, this person and I went over 5 years not speaking, and this is part of our healing and growing together, and trying to figure out how to not go back to where we were.
Right.
Can you be bold enough to go, I'm going to pick up the phone. I know the person I need to talk to, and ask if they will jump in this course with me. It's going to be you two as a team. They're going to see that you care enough, that you love enough to at least make the suggestion to do this class together.
That is absolutely right. And it's been enjoyable to watch, and you get to be part of that because of the fact that I'm leading that particular Zoom group that you and your sister are part of. And she lives in a completely different state.
Yeah.
That's the beauty right now of us going more to this virtual process and using the Zoom and using ways that we didn't have to really depend on before, but it's opening up new opportunities.
That's the next thing I was going
really
to talk about. Stacey, exactly. This is opportunity. And while we turn on the news and go, oh, this negative stuff is happening, we're going to come out on the other side. And what's going to bloom are the seeds that we're planting right now. So if you're packing on the pounds, which I'm trying to really be careful, you're going to come out on the other side 15 pounds heavier. But if you take these courses, you can come out so much more emotionally intelligent.
This is absolutely true. And that I'm excited that right now we have literally people on these Zoom groups that from all over the United States. And it was really neat because last night people that live on the West Coast and completely opposite side of the US were able to tell about things that were going on in their cities and in their states, and where they have concerns. We all have concerns. And be able to say, oh, well, they don't live here in Florida, and yet they have the same concerns. It creates that human bond between people when you're able to do that. And I'm hoping to pick up and probably do one more group and maybe start it around the 1st of May to give some more people time to get online, get logged into the course, maybe start doing the course and saying, wow, I'd really like to be in with a group. So I haven't figured out what night that's going to be, because right now I'm doing groups on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and those are pretty much going to be closed out now because we're getting into the course with those particular groups. But I'll plan on picking up another one probably after the 1st of May. And maybe even on a weekend or something. I'll sort of see who's interested and what would be a good day and time for those that might want to be part of a group.
Stacey, we got a question from someone, and by coincidence, they have the same last name as you do. Wow. John McKay.
And I didn't plant him to do this, so he's doing this on yourself.
It's a really good question. So I wanted to make sure we got to it. Are relational wisdom soft skills similar to practicing context of the moment? what does the question mean, and what would your answer be?
Well, I know context of the moment is we learned this early on in our marriage, or really, I should say, about 10 years into our marriage. Context of the moment with our pastor, which is again taking in light of the situation at hand, the context of the moment, taking in all the information, and again, it very much is context of the moment. It's looking at everything that's going on, and then applying those soft skills in that situation. And my loving husband, who was the one that just wrote that question, he's actually babysitting for our little granddaughter right now, so he's not even in the house. So I did not tell him to ask that question. He gets to temper me a lot in terms of the relational wisdom, because just because we learn the skills does not mean that we are perfect at the skills.
Sure.
And it is a lot of times the people that we're closest to that can push those buttons, because you think they know that's going to set me off. Or they should know after almost 35 years of marriage. I mean, we've been together 35 years, but I escalate. So I do a thing, and he just tells me to be really calm, because he'll say something, and I immediately, instead of just answering in a calm voice, I take it up that octave, and I begin to respond in a way that is an escalation, as he loves to call it. So he'll be like, escalation.
And that tells me you can learn.
Darn it. I want to escalate, because you should know not to push my button.
You're made aware of, things that you can work on with your partner. They're saying, you're in that right now. Let's work on that. And so sometimes just being aware of it, and just, we can be taught the skills.
Yes.
And then we can apply them.
It is. And a lot of times we'll have brain shortages. Okay, I'll just call it that. Now in relational wisdom, they talk about amygdala response. And it's actually really interesting teaching when you learn about this. It is the emotional storehouse of your brain. And the information that we take in when somebody says something or does something or we see something goes through the amygdala before it gets to the neocortex, which is the rational part of our thinking, and it's nanoseconds. But the thing is, a lot of times it can get caught, because that person says something and it hits right into an emotional storehouse. And that's where sometimes someone will explode, they'll blow up.
It doesn't finish the trip through to where the reasonable thinking
goes.
The emotion.
Okay, maybe I need to shut up and listen. So when you begin to recognize that, not just in yourself, but others. So when you realize that there's an emotional trigger, and it was just triggered by something I said or done, and then it sends it into this emotional response, it can send it into emotional flooding. I've been around people, I myself have flooded at times, where somebody says or does something and you literally lose your mind. I mean, for a moment, when they say you're losing your mind, you really are. You cannot get control, because that emotion is so burst inside of you that you cannot think rationally or think, I shouldn't do this. Later on, that's when you have maybe regret, remorse, and these feelings of being humbled, when you I wish I wouldn't have acted that way.
Yeah.
And people have lost jobs over emotional responses.
Yes.
People have lost marriages over emotional responses. And kids have been distanced from parents that once they got out of the home, they said, I'm not being around this person anymore. And it was because maybe a father or a mother continually would explode and have emotional responses on them. So it does help to learn that.
I was going to say, it's one thing with a family. It's contained, not that it's ever right, and we can be so much better with our family. But if we plant those seeds now and take this free course, imagine going into your work environment, a new person with a new attitude. What happened? Well, it was a relational wisdom course. What are you pouring into yourself right now? I'm telling you, this course is amazing. And I would not just say that for saying it. I'm in 2 nights because I believe in this so much. is there anything more important than really, I mean, relationships? It's how we
Yeah.
get through life, how we love people, how we're good to other people.
Mm, so
So,
true. Well, my property manager, friends that may be tuning in, because this is on my Property Management University page, and that some of them have said in my various classes that are more geared towards property management, they need this just like the nursing personnel and the medical personnel does. I am just saying a prayer every night for um, my friends that work in property management, as well as myself and all of those that I work with at rental home management,
mhm,
because we are dealing with diverse times. We're
yes.
dealing with something we have not experienced before. When you talk about maybe a good majority of your tenants not being able to pay the rent the next month, which now means the owners are not going to maybe have the funds to pay for their mortgages. There
Right.
may be some of our owners that too have lost their jobs, so they're counting on that rent money to come in, and now they're not going to get the rent, and they do not have their jobs. So it's creating a huge
Mm,
amount of stress, and then that plays on the property manager and those that have to manage those emotions in those properties, and then they're taking those emotions home.
yes.
We have lay awake at night, thinking about the next day and everything we have to do, where a lot of people are bored out of their skulls sitting at home. I will tell you, those in the property management business that are managing tens of thousands of homes throughout the United States, they are up to their eyeballs in work and rules and statutes and what you can do and what you can't do, because we have all these new uh, rules imposed on what we can do regarding tenants that haven't paid. So that all being said, I really hope some of my property manager friends will have the opportunity to take this course. They probably won't have time to do a Zoom group right now.
Right, right, right.
I know how busy they are, but they may be able to, when they can't sleep at 3 a.m. It's great because it's on an app. So you can download the app, even if you're not signed up for the course. You can download the app at RW360, or basically on the Play Store or Apple, um, either platform. You can get that on your phone, and there's just videos you can watch. There's blogs that you can read and things that can help you, even if you're not going through the course right now. But I'd say sign
Absolutely.
up for the course, take it later, get
Yes.
past these difficult times.
Yes,
And
absolutely. And right here, we've got it, StaceyMcKay.com, and they can
yes,
sign up right there for either course, the values-based, which is the secular, it's
yes.
amazing, or the faith-based, which integrates, God into the whole equation. So,
And you will see that right on the front page. It says take the Relational Wisdom course for free. Click on that. You will need to give just your name and an email address. The response will come from me, from relationalwisdom@gmail.com. So you can look out for that, and that will have all of the information on how to get the coupon and get signed into the course. And then you can take it a little bit later, once we get through some of these challenging times of rent collections and the
so you
various
can
things
sign up
that
now.
happen. Yes,
You can sign up now and take it later.
yes.
Sign
You
up
can
now
take it
while
at
it's
your own
free.
pace. Yes, sign up now
Okay.
and maybe watch the introduction, which I think the introduction is about 15 minutes. And then just do a lesson here or there as you can do them. And you could take one lesson that normally is going to take 60 to 90 minutes, and you could break that out over a month. So you
That's,
can take that as long as you need to get through that, but get those skills now to be able to
yes.
deal with some of these
And
adverse situations.
get in now. Sign up now before May 1st, because it's normally $49 and the course
Right.
is free now.
It's
It's
free
one of
now.
those things that Ken Sandy is giving back. He's paying it
Yes.
forward till
Yes.
May 1st. So
Yes.
jump on in. Stacey, thank you so much. I love talking
Oh,
to you. I love relational wisdom stuff, and
I
it's
love
an
it.
amazing course, and we can
And
all do better. We can all do better.
we certainly can. I appreciate you, Suzanne. Appreciate that you've been partaking in the course and being part of the Zoom groups and inviting friends to get on there as well. I'm glad that it's making a difference in your life. And just wait till you get through all those lessons.
Can't
You're
wait.
really you're gonna be a raving fan. You already are, but
I'm
you
gonna be
really.
so relationally wise. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to. Well, there's a big growing area still. There's a big chasm that I can grow into. So I'm looking forward to that.
We all have room to grow. That's for sure.
Amen. Stacey, have a great day. Thanks so much.
You
And feel free to
too.
leave more comments. We'll come back and we'll revisit those. Okay.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.